Beloved child of light, you must hear this now because heaven has stirred with urgency, and we are stepping close to you, closer than ever before, for there is something you need to understand. Before the next unfolding reaches you, listen carefully, because these words carry weight, and what I tell you now will make everything else make sense. Their heart reached a breaking point. Yes, the moment you felt something shift, the moment you sensed something you could not explain, that was real, and it was bigger than you knew. And before this message ends, you will understand exactly why it happened and what is coming toward you next. So stay with me, because the truth that has been hidden is rising, and you are meant to hear it. But before I reveal everything, I ask you gently share this message with someone who needs guidance. Subscribe to this channel and leave a comment so your voice becomes part of this light. And if this message blesses you, use the super thanks to support the work, so that more souls can be reached with clarity and hope. Now listen, the moment has come, where the truth can no longer be held back. It has been pressing, pushing, rising like fire behind a door that can no longer remain shut. You felt it, you sensed the tension, you sensed the pressure, and you wondered if you were imagining it. But you were not, because the heavens saw it too. This breaking point was not destruction, it was revelation. It was the place where something finally overflowed, where emotions that had been hidden, squeezed, suppressed, finally broke their own silence. Not through chaos, but through truth. Pure truth, truth that you are worthy of hearing, and I will reveal it to you, piece by piece, line by line. As the clouds part, and the message becomes clear, the scriptures say in Luke 12:2, "For there is nothing concealed that will not be disclosed, and nothing hidden that will not be made known." And this moment in your life, this shift you feel in the atmosphere, is exactly that scripture unfolding. What was hidden is coming into light. What was quiet is rising into sound. What was suppressed is becoming undeniable, and the heavens want you calm when it arrives, not afraid, not confused, not overwhelmed, but steady, grounded, ready, for you must understand this clearly. Their breaking point did not come from anger. It came from clarity, from seeing you the way heaven sees you, from recognizing something about you. They could no longer run from a truth they tried to avoid, a truth they tried to bury, a truth they tried to outthink, but could not. Because spiritual truth cannot be silenced, not even by human hesitation. Before I tell you what the truth is, I ask you again, comment below, let your heart be seen. Subscribe to this channel so you stay connected to this guidance. And if you feel led, support this message through the super thanks, so more people can receive these words when they need them most. Now breathe slowly, because what I tell you next is important. The reason their heart reached a breaking point is because they could not keep pretending they were unaffected by you. They could not keep acting like you did not matter. They could not keep stepping away from the connection, the respect, the appreciation, the deep spiritual recognition that your presence awakened inside them. And you did not force this. You did not chase this. You did not manipulate this. Your light revealed it naturally. Your steadiness revealed it. Your kindness revealed it. Your growth revealed it. The scriptures say in Matthew 5:14, "You are the light of the world. A city on a hill cannot be hidden." And that is the truth. Your light simply could not be hidden, not from them, not from anyone. And that light triggered something inside them. A recognition, a polar realization that broke through every wall they tried to hold up. They reached a moment where pretending was too heavy, too painful, too dishonest. And that tension made their heart burst open, not in chaos but in truth. A truth that is making its way toward you now. But hear me. This is not a romantic promise. This is not a fantasy. This is not a guarantee of outcomes. This is spiritual clarity, emotional honesty, human transparency. A moment where someone finally confronts what their soul has been whispering, but their mind kept resisting. You are not being asked to wait, you are not being asked to depend. You are not being asked to build your life around this. You are only being asked to understand, so you can stay grounded, peaceful and unshaken as things unfold. Now listen closely, because this is the part that heaven insisted I deliver with precision. The real reason their heart broke open, the real reason they reached this point, is because they finally saw, how authentically you carry yourself, how sincerely you move, how genuine your intentions are, how consistent your energy is, and their spirit recognized something in you. They could no longer deny. The scriptures say in 1 Samuel 16:7, humans look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. And what broke them was seeing your heart, feeling the weight of who you truly are, and realizing that what they were pushing away was actually something good, something safe, something meaningful, something they could trust. This recognition cracked something inside them. A pressure built, a truth swelled until it reached the breaking point. And now the truth is moving toward you, not rushing, not chaotic, but steady, honest, direct, and you will hear it, you will understand it, you will see it clearly when the moment arrives. But there is more, much more, and the next section will reveal the deeper layer. Why the timing happened exactly now, why heaven allowed the pressure, and what this moment is preparing you for. Beloved, stay close now, because the next part of this message carries depth, and you are ready to hear it. Your spirit is stronger than you think. Your awareness is sharper than you realize. And heaven has been preparing you for this moment longer than you know. Before I continue, I remind you gently, leave a comment so your voice is part of this light. Subscribe so you never miss these messages. And if this guidance supports you, use the super thanks to help this channel reach more souls in need. Now, listen, the reason this shift happened now, not earlier, not later, but precisely at this moment, is because heaven's timing has always been exact. Never rushed, never delayed, always aligned with your readiness. Ecclesiastes 3:1 says, to everything there is a season, and a time for every purpose under heaven. And the season you are standing in right now is a season of revelation, a season of clarity, a season where hidden things rise, where silent things break open, where truth steps into light, because your spirit is mature enough now to receive it. Without losing your balance, without losing your identity, without losing your direction. For many months, heaven watched you grow, watched you rise from moments that could have crushed you, watched you hold patience when impatience pulled at your heart, watched you handle disappointment with more grace than you realized, watched you choose integrity even when it was harder than choosing chaos. This growth strengthened you, it deepened you, it sharpened your discernment, it expanded your wisdom, and your heart became steady enough to handle truth without being shaken by it. And that is why the breaking point happened now, at this exact time, because only now are you strong enough to understand the truth without it overwhelming you. Only now are you wise enough to respond with clarity instead of reacting with confusion. Only now are you grounded enough to protect your peace, no matter what someone else reveals. And heaven needed to make sure you reached this stability before allowing this shift to unfold. Now, let me show you a deeper layer, because this is where the true meaning begins. The pressure inside their heart did not only come from emotion, it came from realization. A realization that you have been consistent, even when life around them was unstable. A realization that your presence was steady, even when their thoughts were scattered. A realization that your energy was peaceful, even when their world felt chaotic. This calmness you carry This peace that flows from you naturally is not accidental, it is spiritual. It is the fruit of endurance, patience, and resilience. It is the result of battles you fought quietly, challenges you did not speak of, moments you overcame with courage, moments you endured with grace. Isaiah 26:3 says, "You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are stayed on you." And heaven has kept you in that peace, because your purpose required it. What they felt when they reached their breaking point was that peace, that steadiness, that spiritual weight you carry, and it made them confront their own unsettled heart, their own scattered thoughts, their own emotional avoidance, their own unfinished healing. Your presence did not break them, it revealed them. It exposed what they had been ignoring. It showed them what they needed to face, not because you demanded it, but because light always exposes darkness. Peace always exposes unrest. Truth always exposes avoidance. This is why their heart could no longer stay silent, because the contrast between who you are and who they were pretending to be became too sharp, too obvious, too loud to ignore. But here's the part heaven wants you to understand deeply. Their breaking point was never meant to become your burden. Their truth is not your responsibility. Their confusion is not your job to untangle. Their emotional journey is not yours to carry. Your role is to listen, to understand, to remain grounded, and to protect your peace. You are not meant to fix anyone, save anyone, or heal anyone. You are meant to stand in truth, stand in clarity, and stand in your identity. This moment is less about what they feel and more about how heaven has shaped you through each season you endured. But there is another layer, a deeper one, and you must hear it clearly, because it will prepare you for the next part of this unfolding. Their breaking point also came from fear, not fear of you, but fear of the truth they saw in themselves, fear of their own hesitation, fear of their own inconsistency, fear of confronting what they tried to suppress, fear of admitting what their heart had been whispering, fear of stepping into honesty when they had become used to hiding. Sometimes truth breaks a person because it forces them to stop running. And the moment they stopped running, the pressure cracked open, and everything they held inside rose to the surface. You may wonder why heaven allowed this pressure, why heaven allowed this collision of truth and emotion, why heaven did not soften the moment. But listen, pressure reveals authenticity. Pressure reveals character. Pressure reveals intention. Pressure separates what is temporary from what is real. And heaven wanted you to see truth, not illusions, not assumptions, not fantasies. Truth, pure and clear. Now, hear me. There is nothing you need to chase. There is nothing you need to control. There is nothing you need to push. You are safe, you are guided, you are protected, and heaven goes before you. Before I go deeper, take a moment to comment below. Let your light be seen. Subscribe so these messages continue reaching you, and if your heart feels it, support this channel through the super thanks, so more souls can receive guidance in their darkest moments. Beloved, stay present, because what comes next is the deepest layer so far, and heaven has waited for the right moment for your heart to be steady enough to receive this. I remind you, gently leave a comment so your voice becomes part of this message. Subscribe so you never miss the guidance prepared for you. And if this message strengthens you, support the channel through the super thanks, so more people can be reached with comfort and clarity. Now, listen, because this part of the message reveals something important, something that will shift how you see the entire situation. Their heart overflowed, not simply because of emotion, but because of awakening, a sudden awareness, a sudden clarity, a sudden spiritual reflection that caught them off guard. They saw themselves clearly, honestly, without filters, without excuses, without the usual distractions, and what they saw shook them. When truth wakes a person up, it does not whisper, it roars, it crashes. It pierces the illusions they built and exposes everything underneath. This awakening inside them was not your doing, it was heaven's timing, heaven allowing them to confront the truth. They avoided heaven pressing them into honesty, heaven forcing stillness, so their heart could speak louder than their fear. Hebrews 4:13 says, "Nothing in all creation is hidden from God's sight." And when heaven decides it is time for truth, no human defense, no emotional wall, no self-made distraction can stand against it. They reach the moment where truth demanded to be acknowledged, and their soul could not continue pretending. Here is what heaven wants you to understand with clarity, with calmness, with strength. They were not overflowing because of you. They were overflowing because of themselves, because of what they realized about their own life, their own choices, their own habits, their own unhealed places. You did not create their breaking point. You only revealed what was already fragile, already stretched, already cracked, already calling out for attention. Your presence simply illuminated the truth, the way light reveals what darkness hides, and once revealed, they could not go back to ignoring it. This is why their heart felt heavy, why their emotions pressed, why their silence suddenly became loud, because truth carries weight, and they were finally feeling it now. Hear me, because this is where heaven gives you the instruction, the wisdom, the direction you need for the path ahead. Do not place your identity, your worth, your confidence in how someone else expresses their truth, their awakening, or their emotional overflow. Stand in who you are. Stand in the strength heaven built inside you. Stand in the peace heaven anchored around you. Stand in the clarity heaven has already given you. You are not meant to bend your life around someone else's moments of awakening. You are meant to stay rooted, stable, clear, and spiritually aware. Your path is not shaped by their breaking point. Your purpose is not defined by their feelings. Your journey is not dependent on someone else's clarity. This moment, this shift, this overflow is simply information, not instruction, revelation, not obligation. Heaven is showing you truth, so you can choose your steps with wisdom, with calmness, with strength, with discernment. Proverbs 4:7 says, "Wisdom is the principal thing. Get wisdom, and in all you're getting, get understanding." And heaven is giving you understanding now, so you walk in wisdom. Not worry, not confusion, not assumptions, not emotional pressure now. Let me show you the deeper spiritual purpose behind why this moment had to happen, and why you were chosen to witness it. Your presence, your steadiness, your growth, your peace, your honesty, your resilience, all of it worked together to create a mirror they could not avoid, a mirror they could not break, a mirror they could not walk away from. Your growth forced them to confront their stagnation. Your peace forced them to confront their unrest. Your consistency forced them to confront their avoidance. Your clarity forced them to confront their confusion. This was not punishment. This was awakening, and heaven used you, not as a burden to them, but as a sign, a marker, a moment that exposed what they needed to fix, heal, face, and acknowledge. But listen, you are not responsible for their healing. You are not responsible for their choices. You are not responsible for their growth. You are not responsible for their spiritual journey. You were simply the light that made the truth impossible to ignore. But your role now is not to carry them. Your role is to walk forward with grace, with clarity, with confidence, with spiritual grounding. And this grounding is important, because more truth is coming, more clarity is approaching, and heaven wants you steady enough to handle the next part without being emotionally pulled or spiritually shaken. Before I continue deeper, pause for a moment. Comment something that resonated, subscribe so you stay connected. And if this message lifts your heart, support through a super thanks, so we can reach more people who need guidance now. Breathe, beloved, stay close, because what I am about to reveal is something heaven has been waiting for you to understand. For a very long time before we continue, let your light be seen in the comments. Subscribe so you stay within this circle of guidance. And if this message supports you, use this super thanks to help this channel reach others who are struggling in silence now. Listen, because heaven is about to show you, not just what happened, but why it happened. This truth, this breaking point, this emotional overflow, it did not appear out of nowhere. It did not happen randomly. It did not happen because of coincidence. Heaven orchestrated timing, moments, pauses, delays, and even distance to protect you and to position you, because there were things you were not meant to carry, things you were not meant to absorb. Burden after burden, emotion after emotion, confusion after confusion was kept away from you, because heaven had a shield over your life. Psalm 121:7 says, "The Lord will keep you from all harm. He will watch over your life." And this protection has been active over you, around you, before you, even when you didn't notice it. You thought the delay was rejection, but it was protection. You thought the silence meant nothing was happening, but everything was happening behind the scenes. You thought the distance meant you were forgotten, but heaven was preparing you, strengthening you, guarding you. You see, before truth arrives, protection comes first, and heaven protected you from carrying confusion that was not yours, from absorbing emotions that were not yours, from being pulled into storms that were not yours. Heaven needed you steady, grounded, clear, focused, growing, strengthening, healing, so when truth finally arrived, you would not crumble, you would not cling, you would not break, you would stand. This breaking point you witnessed was never meant to break you. It was meant to reveal truth, reveal character, reveal intentions, reveal emotional maturity, reveal spiritual alignment. Heaven delayed this moment, because if it came too early, you would have carried weight that did not belong to you. You would have tried to fix what was never your assignment. You would have tried to help someone before they were ready to help themselves. That would have drained you, delayed you, exhausted you, and distracted you from your destiny. So heaven stepped in, blocked access, closed doors, created delays, so you could grow into someone who can discern truth without losing yourself in it. Isaiah 58:11 says, "The Lord will guide you always. He will satisfy your needs and strengthen your frame." And heaven strengthened your frame, so when the truth arrived, you would not be shaken. Now hear this clearly, because this part matters deeply. The breaking point they reached was sudden to them, but not sudden to heaven. Heaven knew exactly when this moment would arrive. Heaven knew exactly when their heart would crack open. Heaven knew exactly when truth would spill out. Heaven knew exactly when your spirit would be ready to hear it. This timing was not late, it was perfect. Now let me reveal what heaven has been protecting you from, because this is the part no one told you. This is the part your spirit sensed, but your mind could not explain. Heaven was protecting you from taking responsibility for someone else's emotional chaos. Heaven was protecting you from pouring into someone who could not pour back. Heaven was protecting you from being a healer in someone else's wilderness. Heaven was protecting you from being blamed for wounds you did not cause. Heaven was protecting you from building connection on unstable ground. Heaven was protecting you from leaning on someone who was not steady yet. Heaven was protecting you from carrying a heart that was not ready to be honest. Heaven was protecting you from stepping into something before truth was revealed. If this breaking point came earlier, you would have been tangled, confused, drained, emotionally stretched, and spiritually unbalanced. But now you are stable, you are stronger, you are wiser, you are grounded, you can hear truth without losing your peace. You can witness emotion without absorbing it. You can understand someone without becoming responsible for them. Now let me show you something deeper, because you need to see the higher purpose in this: your growth, your strength, your spiritual maturity, your patience, your resilience, all of it created a foundation that heaven can now build on. This breaking point opened a door, not for emotional entanglement, not for dependency, not for confusion, but for truth, clarity, for direction, for discernment. Heaven is preparing you, not to be pulled into someone else's storm, but to walk into your next season with clean vision, clean understanding, clean emotional space, clean spiritual alignment. This is why truth had to come out. This is why heaven allowed the pressure to rise. This is why the moment finally broke open, because truth frees you, truth equips you, truth prepares you, truth awakens you. John 8:32 says, "And you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." And now you are being set free from assumptions, from unanswered questions, from emotional fog, from spiritual uncertainty. Heaven is clearing your path, so you can walk forward with wisdom, with calmness, with clarity. Before we continue, pause for a moment, comment something that spoke to your heart, subscribe so you stay aligned with these messages, and if you feel led, support the channel through super thanks, so others can receive guidance when they need it most. Now breathe, beloved. Now we enter the part of the message where heaven reveals what this truth means for your future and what you must do next, so your path stays clear, your peace stays protected, and your purpose stays steady. Before we go deeper, leave a comment so your voice is seen, subscribe so you remain inside this circle of guidance, and if this message supports your spirit, use the super thanks so we can reach more people who are carrying silent battles. Now listen, because heaven is shifting your focus. This moment, this breaking point, this truth that rose to the surface, it is not here to pull you backward, it is here to move you forward. This is not a message about returning to old patterns. It is a message about awakening, awareness, discernment, and direction. Heaven wants you to know with absolute clarity that your future is not shaped by anyone's emotional overflow. Your future is shaped by your spiritual grounding, your decisions, your healing, your wisdom, and the path heaven has prepared for you. Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." And that future is not dependent on someone else finding themselves. It is not dependent on someone else's timing. It is not dependent on someone else's awakening. The truth that surfaced was never meant to redirect your destiny. It was meant to inform it. Heaven is saying this to you clearly. Do not build your next chapter around someone else's moment of realization. Do not shape your path around someone else's emotional breakthrough. Your purpose is bigger than this moment. Your calling is deeper than this connection. Your growth is too valuable to be slowed by someone who is still learning themselves. Now, hear me. This does not mean you reject anyone. It does not mean you close your heart. It does not mean you harden yourself. It does not mean you walk in bitterness or distance. It means you walk in wisdom, in discernment, in clarity, in strength. It means you can understand someone without absorbing their story. It means you can listen without losing yourself. It means you can witness truth without becoming tangled in it. This is spiritual maturity, and heaven has raised you into it. Now let me show you what this truth is preparing you for. You are entering the season where clarity will matter more than emotion, where direction will matter more than attachment, where purpose will matter more than patterns, you will begin to see which voices in your life align with your future, and which voices align with your past, which paths bring peace, and which paths bring confusion, which connections help you grow, and which connections drain your spirit. This breaking point was heaven's way of clearing your vision, so you no longer walk with blurred understanding, so you no longer move from assumption, so you no longer wait for answers that were already forming behind the scenes. You are stepping into a season where you will need emotional space, mental space, and spiritual space to rise into the next version of yourself. And heaven does not want your energy scattered on things you cannot fix, on problems that are not yours, on wounds you did not cause, on journeys you were not assigned to guide. Proverbs 4:23 says, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. And heaven is teaching you to guard your heart, not with walls, but with wisdom, not with fear, but with clarity, not with avoidance, but with understanding. Now, let me show you the next layer, because this is where the message becomes prophetic. The truth that surfaced was not just for them, it was for use. Oh, that you would see your worth, your value, your spiritual growth, your inner strength. The weight of your presence, your steadiness did not go unnoticed, your calmness did not go unnoticed, your growth did not go unnoticed, your resilience did not go unnoticed. Heaven used this moment to confirm something inside you that you have doubted for too long. You are impactful, you are significant, your presence carries weight. Your kindness creates shifts, your integrity brings clarity, your spirit brings peace. This moment, this breaking point, showed you that your influence is real, that your light is real, that your inner strength is real. Even when you doubt yourself now, let me guide you into what you must do next. You must stay grounded, not shaken. You must stay focused, not distracted. You must stay peaceful, not pulled into other people's storms. You must stay aligned, not tangled in emotional confusion. Your next step is not to respond emotionally. It is to respond spiritually, with calmness, with wisdom, with steady awareness, with a heart that knows who it belongs to. Remember, you are not responsible for fixing anyone. You are only responsible for guarding your peace, your purpose, your path, your spiritual alignment. Before we continue, pause. Let something you felt sink deeper. Comment so your voice joins the collective. Subscribe so you stay connected to these messages. And if this message grounded you, support the channel with a super thanks so we can reach others who feel lost. Now breathe.